Hello and welcome back to CADvent 2024. For day 7, we are designing a tealight tree cover. Now, my plan is to design this such you can 3D print it in vase mode. So if you are doing that, you do need to make sure that you are using these LED tea lights. This is not safe for real fire candle lights. So make sure you're using these little LED ones. And what you want to do is just measure the diameter of the little tea light candle that you've got to make sure that this design works for your candles. My name is Elizabeth Bishop and you can find me on my social medias at 3dbish. So 24 days of designing in Autodesk Fusion. So let's get started with this design. So this is a slightly easier one than last time. So we're going to start off with a sketch on the ZX plane. And this is going to be the profile that we are going to revolve to make that tea light cover. So starting off with a line, I'm going to bring that up and I want that to be 80 millimeters. And that's the height of the part. So if you've got a bigger printer, you could make a bigger one. If you've got a smaller printer, make sure you match that. And then essentially, I am just going to bring this out at 90-degree angles to create the basic profile of the part that I want to print. Now, I want this bottom line to be horizontal, so add a horizontal vertical constraint. Now, I've added these 90-degree angle automatically in that. If yours didn't add, for example, if you haven't got that and you can change the angle here, what you want to do is add this perpendicular constraint between these two lines and make sure you add that between all of these lines going down. This means that each of the lines in the tree will be at 45 degrees from the horizontal, which means that you can print it without any support material, so this will self-support. The final one you want to check is this last one down at the bottom. So adding a dimension between there and there, we want to make sure that one is 45 degrees. And then we can start making this the size that we want it to be. So my overall size, I want to go from here to here. That is going to be 50 millimeters. And then you might just have to drag the lines to get a good size. So then the next one in is going to be 35 millimeters. And then that final one there is going to be 25 millimeters. And then you can just move these around until the design looks as you want it to be. So I want this one here to here to be 10 millimeters. And then I would like the length of these two to be the same. So selecting both, I'm going to use the equal constraint. And you can see that we have a fully defined sketch now. So that is the overall size of the part that I want to make. Now I'm also going to add in some flats and we can use this to customize the part if we want to. And the same as we did with the bauble, we don't want a complete point at the top because this makes it difficult for the 3D printer. So I'm going to add in a horizontal line here and dimension that as 1 millimeter just to give us a small flat on the very top. I'm also going to add in a line here, a line here, and a line here. And this is going to give us a little flat. And the dimension of those, I want that to be 2 millimeters. And I want that to be the same in all cases. So just adding that in to give us a 2 millimeter point there. I'm going to finish that sketch. I'm then going to use a revolve, selecting that profile around my Z axis. And you can see there we have a very basic tree shape here. So what we're going to do to make room for that tea light at the bottom is on the bottom plane, create a sketch, do a circle. Now I've measured my tea light and I know that a 40 millimeter diameter circle is going to be sufficient to stick that tea light in the bottom of there. So finishing that sketch, I'm going to create an extrude and just bring that up by 5 millimeters and an extruded cut just to give me that little profile to work with there. And that will give you a little edge that will allow the tea light to sit into. Now you could just leave this design as is like this, or if you wanted, you could add a little bit of customization. So you could add in some words that say Merry Christmas around this middle band. If you want the band to be a little bit bigger, what you could do is edit this sketch. It's just flipped around from the direction we had it in before, and increase this offset here. So you could make that 4mm. And you can see it increases that band. So you want to make that a size that works for the text you want to do. So I might go with 3mm there. And what we're going to do is to construct an offset plane from the center plane and bring that out. So we knew that that was around 35mm out there. And then I'm going to create a sketch on that plane that I've just created. Now I'm going to use the text tool for this. So adding some text here, I'm just going to place the box roughly where I'd like it to be. And I'm going to say Merry Christmas on here. But you could say whatever, season's greetings, happy holidays, whatever works for you. So what you want to do is make sure that the size of that text is definitely no bigger than that, size band that you created. You can actually, if we project through these two lines, so project that one and that one. So P on the keyboard is the keyboard shortcut. And you can define coincident that point over here and coincident that point over here, and that will put your text in the middle of that band. I'm now going to add in an appearance to make this look a little bit more Christmassy. So A on the keyboard is the shortcut for appearance. Search for green, and I'm going to use that plastic glossy green and add in that appearance there. We're now going to emboss that text into the band that we've created to give it a bit of customization. So now that we have that text, we're going to use a deboss to imprint that onto the center band of this. So create and then the emboss tool. The sketch profile I want to select is that text, and the face that I want to do is that circular face. Now you can see here that brings this to a curved feature on there, and we want that 1mm. Now if you're 3D printing this in vase mode, it actually is going to work much better with a deboss, so a slight cut into the part. So selecting OK there, you can sort of imprint that text into the front of your tree there. So imprint that text into the front of your tree there. And now what if you wanted to, you could actually pattern this around the whole ring of this. So using a circular pattern, I'm going to pattern the feature of that deboss that I've just created and do that around the Z axis. So press and hold my mouse key and select the Z axis there. And then just increase the number until it patterns all the way around and you're happy with how that looks. So I'm going to do 6 there. And we can see now we have our tealight tree holder, and it says Merry Christmas all the way around that. Now I'll show you how to set this up for 3D printing in vase mode. So what you want to do is right click and save as mesh, selecting your format as STL, clicking OK, and exporting this to your preferred location on your laptop or PC. So load that up into your preferred slicer, and I've got that there. And then the settings I want to choose in here, I'm going to do 1 top layer, 1 bottom layer, and I want to make sure I've got vase mode on. So whatever slicer you've got, you want to make sure you've got equivalent settings to that. So when you prepare to print that, you'll see that this creates in vase mode, and you've got that text imprinted into the part there. It's not quite vase mode throughout that section, just needs a couple of retractions throughout that, all the way through to the bottom. And then this bit where we did the extrude creates a recess to put your tealight holder in. So save that G-code file out and load it up on your preferred printer and hit print. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, please do post them in the comments below. If you've liked it, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you'd like me to do for the rest of CADvent. I will see you in the next video.